So this is how we actually saw the SR latch design using NAND gates and NOR gates. Okay, we can also design the circuit using the similarly we can design using other type of gates also, but this is actually the most commonly accepted design. Alright, so now actually we can see that our output changes in the value of S and R. Alright, now if we want to introduce certain mechanism in our circuit so that the output changes every time with certain other change in the input. What is that input? Because in our circuits one commonly encountered input is the clock cycle. Okay, so if we introduce certain mechanism in our circuit that any change in the value of clock will guarantee the change in the output. Okay, so that we incorporate over here. How? Let us see. Now this is what I do over here. Now in my SR latch actually I incorporated the clock, so my circuit actually become what is called a flip-flop. So basically my flip-flop is actually latch plus clock. That is actually what is called my flip-flop. Alright. Now we can actually see that this circuit behaves in exactly the same way according to this truth table. Alright. But that happens only and only if the value of clock is 1. Alright. Because everywhere over here the value of clock has to be 1. Okay, right now we are actually considering clock as 1. We will come to the other variants also that are possible of the circuit. Alright. If the value of clock goes 0, so whatever the value of my SNR, so I can actually put in the don't cares over here, so that my previous state is retained, or I can say there is no change actually. Why so? You can actually see if the value of clock actually becomes 1, this is a NAND gate. Okay, so I would not say rather no change, actually this becomes a rather a forbidden state. Not defined state. Why? Because if clock is 0, so both the outputs will definitely be 1, and both of them actually try to be simultaneously 1, so we will have problems in the circuit. Alright. So if we actually draw the block diagram of our SR flip-flop, so this becomes our S, this becomes our R. Clock we actually show like this externally. I will use CLK, the short form for the clock. Alright. This is our Q, this is our Q1. In most of the circuits, we actually take the output of the gate from here, or sorry, flip-flop from here. We generally don't take the value of Q bar. Okay, that is actually not used. Most of the cases it is used. Alright. Now we have actually seen a problem in our SR flip-flop, that we have the problem of forbidden state arising over here. So what is the solution to this? Solution to this flip-flop was actually given by our another type of flip-flop, that is called our JK flip-flop. Alright, so instead of S and R, we have now our JK flip-flop. Now only difference is actually in the design of the JK flip-flop is that in case of JK flip-flop we have, in place of our S we have actually JQ bar, and in our case of R we have KQ. That means actually in the case of design of a circuit, either we can put a, if we want to keep the 1 and 2 as the 2 input NAND gates, okay, so we can affix over here a AND gate whose inputs are J and Q bar, or what we can do, we can actually put these over here. Now the third input actually, no, this actually has to go, no, this is actually JQ bar, okay, and this has to be KQ. Okay, so block diagram will also change. This will actually simply become our J and K. Alright. Now with this slight change in our circuit, we will have J, K and Qt plus 1 coming up. This is actually 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1. So the first three, they behave exactly the same as the SR. That is 0, Qt, 0, 1, and the last state actually that becomes Qt1. That is complement of the previous state. Alright, because if you try to work out, this will behave in exactly the same way. Alright, so this is actually our block diagram. We'll again take the output from the normal output. Alright, you can actually work out the options. Okay, this is not a difficult task. Now from this truth table, if I actually extract out my middle two rows, okay, so my circuit or the resulting flip flop is actually what is called the D flip flop. D actually stands for delay flip flop. Okay, and if I extract out the first and the last row, is actually what is called the T flip flop, or in short, that is for toggle flip flop. Okay, so now actually how do we design? Simply the idea is for design of a D flip flop actually we have to complement. Okay, J and K, they have to be complement of each other. So this my actually J flip flop actually behaves like a D flip flop, or simply putting in, you have a block diagram if you talk about, is actually D, this is Q, Q bar, and this is a clock. So this actually J I can replace by D because the K has been actually applied by complementation. Alright, so simple, the truth table will be like this, 0, 1, this will be 0, this will be 1. Alright, in case if I want to design a T flip flop, what do I do? Okay, I will make that down for you. Okay, we actually simply short the two inputs. So what is actually the truth table? It actually comes out to be like this. If this is 0, this is same as present state. If this is 1, so this is a complement. That's all. That's the only difference. Alright. So actually we have seen all the possible types of flip-flops that exist in literature. Okay. Now still this is actually not the final point. These also flip-flops actually suffer from a lot of problems. Okay, let us see how. Or rather I will say our design of JK flip-flop actually suffers from a lot of problems. Actually J, this is actually K. Okay, this is how we are designed. So there are shortcomings of the JK flip-flop. And first one, or rather the major one, is actually what is called our race around condition. Now first of all let us try to understand what is a race around condition. Okay, let us see, we have seen in the truth table of JK, if JK is 1, okay, both J and K are 1, then our next state, that has to be complement of the previous state. Alright, of course the clock has to remain 1 in this duration. If the clock goes 0, so we cannot actually make this claim. Okay, now let us see these inputs are like propagating from the output back to the inputs. That is the outputs of the gates number 3 and 4. They are propagating through these feedback paths back to the inputs of gate number 1 and 2. Alright, you can actually see in the diagrams. Alright, okay, so let us consider any situation where our clock is actually 1. Alright, into this duration. Alright, now let us assume that somewhere at this point, say, let us say time t1, our jk and jnk both are 1 and our qt is actually 0. The present state value. Alright. Sorry. Now jk is 1, my present state value is 1. So what is the value have to be next state? That has to be complement of the present state. So that will become 1. Alright, because clock is active in this state. Now let us consider a scenario that these outputs are actually propagating to the inputs of the gates. Alright. Now there must be certain delay or the time lag in the value appearing at the output and that propagating to the input and then getting computed according to the truth table and again presenting at the output. So if I call the propagation delay from my value of q and q bar that appeared at the output and through the feedback path, actually let us say they took time delay tpd1, propagation delay 1, alright, to propagate from output to the input of the gates 1 and 2. Alright, now these value actually got computed and the time that it took for the value to again appear at the output. So if I call this as the tpd2. Alright, now I call the combined delay tpd1 and tpd2 as tpd, my total propagation delay. That is the value appearing from output to the input and then going again back to the output. Now let us assume this is my actually the positive clock cycle duration. I call it as capital T. So capital T is my positive clock cycle duration. Alright. Now let us say at any point of time my capital T is greater than my TPD, the propagation delay. Alright, something like this. If say suppose my TPD is less than the capital T. Oh, let me like move it over here also. So because there is a point actually where the value got appeared. Now what is the problem over here? The problem is that since my TPD is less than capital T, this changed value, that is qt plus 1, now actually becomes qt, isn't it? Now if I talk, okay, let me extend it over here little so that it is. Now at this point, say capital T2, this is capital T1. Now at point T2, what is the problem? My jk is still 1, clock is still 1. Now this qt plus 1 that actually appeared over here goes from the feedback path and now it becomes the present state value, isn't it? So over here I will have my jk as 1 and my qt will now be actually 1 because this actually went from the feedback path. Alright, so now according to my truth table, my qt plus 1 will become 0 because jk is 1, qt is 1, so qt plus 1 has to be the complement of the present state. Okay. Now what is the problem if my TPD is much greater than or much less than, sorry, my capital T? So this output will change more than once. So we actually saw over here the output changed actually twice. So it may be more than that also. So what is the major problem? Major problem is that when my end of the actually clock cycle reaches over here, this is my end. Sorry, not the clock cycle, end of the positive clock cycle duration. So as soon as my end of the clock cycle, positive clock cycle duration reaches, my output is uncertain. It changes number of times, isn't it? Because there is actually a race that is being existing between the positive clock cycle duration and the propagation delay of my circuit. Alright, so this whole scenario, this whole problem is actually called my race around condition. Alright, this actually exists in our JK flip flops because of the feedback cut, or that may exist in our T flip flop also, that is a toggle flip flop. Now, what is the solution to this problem? There are actually two solutions. We either make capital T less than the TPD. That is, you make the positive clock cycle duration less than the propagation delay. Alright, in the circuits. That is something scenario like this. You have the clock, this is capital T. So you make something TPD like this. That is to increase the propagation delay. But however, delay introduces, so either you add more number of gates or something, that is actually not possible. Okay, and rather the solution are actually not possible through the this is actually not physically possible to attain. Okay, so what do? You go for another solution that is actually called the master slave JK. So let us see how this circuit works. Master slave JK. Now first of all, let us talk about the design of the gate or the master slave JK flip flop. The master slave JK flip flop actually consists of two JK flip flops connected back to back. Alright, so this is my JK flip flop 1 and this is like JK flip flop 2. Okay, now the JK flip flop 1 that has been added over here, differentiate it from the thing. This is actually called our master. And this second one is actually called the slave. Okay. If I actually show it by the block diagram, you can actually see it over here. This is actually J, K. This is Q, S, QM. What is QM? QM bar? You must have made it by now, isn't it? You can make it out. This is actually the master out. Okay. This is the clock, and these outputs actually go as the inputs. Okay. JK is actually the JK inputs. Okay. To the slave. So these are outputs are QS, QS bar. So these QS and QS bar through feedback they actually come over here. Now what is the difference? The clock of the master, okay, and the clock of the slave, they are actually complement of each other. Now how does the circuit work actually? Our circuit works like, first of all, during the, okay, let me try to show it by the clock cycle transition. say suppose our clock is there, so maybe we will be having positive cycles and the negative cycles also. Okay, so now this is my positive cycle. Now what happens when the positive cycle of the clock comes? So now this clock is 1 for the master, isn't it? So this will be based on the value of j and k, the master will compute the output and these outputs will be available at qm and qm bar. All right. But the clock of the slave is 0 and we know for the working of the flip flop the clock has to be 1. The slave is my off, slave does not work. So in the positive duration I actually have my master as on. Slave is off, it doesn't work. That means it cannot produce new outputs. Alright, and you can actually see now my feedback path has changed. Now I am not giving the feedback to the master from the QM and QM bar, rather I am giving from QS and QS bar. Okay, you can actually see the flow, isn't it? Yeah. Now during the positive clock cycle duration my master is on and working. Okay. Now as soon as my negative clock cycle comes or goes 0, so now this master becomes off. Now this clock has been complemented, so complement of 0, that is 1. So now my slave becomes active in this duration. Now over here, now my slave works based on the value or the previous output QM and QM bar that were actually generated. Alright. So my slave actually generates new outputs QS and QS bar. They are available at these outputs and also they go feedback to the master. But since my master is off over here, so it cannot produce new inputs. That means new outputs, rather QM and QM bar, which is not available as the inputs to the slave. So these QS and QS bar does not change. So you can actually see we have overcome the problem of racer. Because positive cycle, master works, slave is off, negative cycle, slave is on, master is off. Now you can actually see the circuit is slow as compared to JK, because for the operation it requires actually 2 cycles. Okay. Over here the amount of time requires are actually half, but we were encountering the problem of race around condition. This has been prevented over here. You can actually design the master slave JK flip flop using NAND gates only, and the number of NAND gates required will be 9. Because these 8 have been shown, only for the NOT gate you have to fix one more. Alright. So moving on further.